Jess and I did chicken nug salad. That's our cheat meal. Hello. I don't know why I didn't do it, Moser. It makes me sad. It didn't give you your hello. How you doing, dude? What kind of dressing on the salad? What was it? We should have had tomato to it, Yogi. You're not wrong. It was like a buffalo like salad. You know, like I don't know, like buffalo chicken, like flavors is what it was. So yeah, that's what that was. Chicken nug panzanella. That sounds great. Now here's the question: do you sub out the bread for the nuggies, or do you put it in addition to? Guys, thank you for the level 1 hype train. You're all fucking awesome. I appreciate everything that everybody does for this stream. I really do. Buff Chick Caesar. I mean, that Buffalo Chicken Caesar doesn't sound bad at all. That doesn't sound bad at all to me. I'm not gonna lie. I would fuck with that. I would fuck with that. Guys, what would be like a cool sandwich, like a summer sandwich you guys would like me to do? What would be a good summer sandwich? Tell me. Or just ingredients you'd like to see in a sandwich. Now, know that I don't have a smoker yet, so we can't go like big time, like smoke, yada, 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 yada. But Dragon. I'll talk about that in a second. I like roast beef in the summer, like cold roast beef sandwiches, or what? Grilled veggie and melted cheese Sammys. Okay, I dig that. Maybe add some eggplant, right? Whatever goes well with white pepper. Nicole, I swear to God, Nicole. I love you. Come on. I'm going to put pickles and anchovies on your pizza, and you can wash it down with an ice cold glass of chunky milk. Why would I do that, Alex? That sounds terrible. I mean, if I saw anchovies on pickle on pizza, I'd be interested to be like, I guess it's a little too acidic, too salty, like two extremes on there, but it could work. It could work if you do it right. Chunky milk, I mean, I'd see that it was chunky. Yeah, cold. Yeah, cold. Cold roast beef sandwiches in the summertime. I can get behind that. Bacon, lettuce, watermelon. Okay, I kind of see what you're saying there. Tomatoes, onions, apples, candied walnuts, blueberry vinaigrette. That screams more fall to me though than it does summer. That screams more fall. The apples and the candied walnuts, yeah? Walk completed. I can finally toke. Let's go, Mimi. Let's fucking go. This needs more time. Sons of bitches. Needs more time. All right, let's keep talking through what we're doing here today. Because I'm not fully sold on it. We could do 2 different dishes if that's the case, which I'm totally fine with. Because we have ricotta and we've got this. We could still make a puree out of that and saute those. Right, you like this shirt? I like this shirt too. It's a good one. Just got me this shirt. It's all the tiki glasses. Strawberry and lemon pulp? What do you mean? You're saying for a sandwich? Let me see here, guys. Because I feel like I'm gonna make this a fall dish. And then we'll have like a springtime dish. Not really what I was intending to go for today, but this is what it is. Twattermelon? You're twattermelon. What? I got an idea. Here's what we're gonna do. Yep, all right, good. Sage, yep, done, good. Good. We'll get the parm out when we need it. Okay? And we're just gonna do it like that. We're gonna go basic bitch. I'm just gonna go crowd pleaser for the gnocchi. That's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna do something else. We're gonna do something else with our little bit of greens here. All right, it's coming together. Shh. We're gonna make this happen, guys. All right, so we're shifting gears. We're gonna do butter and sage. We're gonna do butter and sage with parm for our gnocchi. Done. Kaputs. Then we're gonna use some of our ricotta with a puree of the parsley and the broccoli rabe leaves. We're gonna puree that. So we're gonna have a little like thickened sauce. We'll season it up, make it taste real nice. So we'll do a nice little green element to the plate. Marinated shallots. And we gotta go from there. We got some fried shallot and fried garlic left over. That would be good. That's a good garnish with that. Let's go with that. It's always nice to have fried garlic and or shallot when you're doing these kind of things. I'm not gonna lie. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bacon relish. There we go. Done. Sealed. We'll saute up the broccoli rabe with the bacon relish. Your mom's bacon relish. I don't like sweet potatoes unless they're sweet, but that's just me. I guess I never had them at a restaurant like other than fries. Super spy. Listen. Look at me. Okay? We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. I don't know where I'm going with that. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is expand your horizons. I'm really fucking high. Wasting time. How you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. We're about to blanch off some stuff. I'm in a stony mode that's like very unique. I don't know. Guys, I'm high. It's great. It's wonderful. It's troublesome. It's liberating. It's a lot of things.
Don't mind me, I'm just having a stoner moment.
It is most certainly that. I am not going to argue that one. All right. We're setting up our blanching liquid. This is water, salted. We're getting our ice bath. All right, I'm just going to throw this guy into the freezer. So that's just extra cold. Getting errands done on the day off. Yeah, let's go. I got to a certain point in my life where getting up on my day off and just crushing all of my errands, doing like, all right, it's fucking 7 a.m., time to get up, crush everything so I can be back home by noon, put everything away, and like be done by 2 o'clock. So that the rest of the weekend, I'm just like, sure, maybe you're changing out laundry in between all of that, which just that's laundry. Laundry sucks. But being able to get like the majority of your shit done on the first day, oh man, that's a win. That's a fucking win. I was just like, God damn it. Working in kitchens, some days you'd only get one day off. So you'd have to be like, all right, I'm going to do all this so that I can just fucking do whatever I want now. Sometimes I would go home and start it all then so that I could just wake up in the morning and be like, oh, fuck, I cleaned heavy last night. Oh, but I don't have to do it today. Yes. Yes. I did laundry and put away dishes. Yeah. Yeah. So, good on you for getting shit done. Holy shit, I am high. Like, I can feel it right here. Mystery weed is a banger. Mystery weed is a banger. I didn't have too much to focus on last time when we got really high. My kitchen always seems to look great. I try to clean it. Also, I've only been living in this house just a little over 2 months. So, not a morning person. I didn't used to be either. I hated the mornings. I just had to do it because I was like, otherwise I can't enjoy my evenings. Shit. I have to fucking hate my mornings and just do it. Otherwise, I'll hate my evenings and just feel mad at myself that I didn't get anything done. Does it get messy? Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. This was gross. I cleaned this yesterday, and it was like, yay! It doesn't look terrible. It looks really nice. I did get a guard protector on the base of everything. That helps. For sure. But yeah. No, everything's just staged. I actually don't use any of this shit. This is just props. What are your kitchen cleaning tips? Do spot jobs daily. Find one thing when you get into your kitchen that you can that's not like a hard project, but even if it's just like clearing your main like prep area and scrubbing it down and resetting it, like do something like that. Or wiping down your microwave and your stove and your oven or the areas around it, Bread beads, what's good? My kitchen was a war zone yesterday between making chocolates and making bread. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, Tree Farmer. Chocolate that's a rough one. That's a fucking rough one. Because it's just like, you really got to clean it. You really got to make sure you're cleaning it up. Because it's just like the towels afterwards and everything. Oh, God. It can be such a mess to clean up. I always hated working with chocolate for that reason. But I also respect. But I also used to watch people that worked with chocolate, and I saw all their stuff. It's just after a while, there is probably just a very thin layer of chocolate over some of their equipment. It gets everywhere, yeah. Look, I just got done finished saying how high I am. Okay, you want to smoke more? Okay, sure. Why not? Man, yeah. Working with chocolate. Get higher, scrub. Listen, just have my pen. Yeah. Blood Orange, cheers to you. All right, is our water up? Our water's up. Let's blanch this off really quick, and then we'll chill it down. We can move on. This isn't going to take very long. All right. We've got our ice bath ready. We've got our ice bath ready. We've got our goodies in. Wow. My tokens to make you do another. Oh, it's on a cooldown. It's on a cooldown. That is exactly why there is a cooldown, bread beads. That's exactly why there's a cooldown. Canatella edibles, they're my favorite. They actually taste good. I have not. All right, here we go. Look, doesn't take long. Doesn't take long to blanch all this. All right, let me move this back. All right, into the ice water. There we are. There we are. Good, good. Yes. Are they just gummies or is it just a brand, Rusky? So there we go. Shazoom Shazam. I'll just put this over here for right now. And also, we're going to save some of this liquid. Because if we need, come on, if we need to spin any, when we are spinning this or pureeing this, it's just flavored. It's already seasoned. So we'll see how it tastes, but we'll cool it down in the ice bath alongside of everything. So they do gummies, but they might do other stuff. Got it. Forceps. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, forceps are used a lot more in kitchens than you think. It's so funny. I mean, you know, it's just a giant tweezer. But yeah, why not? You know? So easy. So easy. For smaller stuff, especially like pastas, they're actually really good for that. Actually really good for that. Oh. There we go. Oh yeah, now we're good. Now we're, okay, yeah. We can turn this off now. That's always a happy day. That's always a happy day. Let's get some gloves on. I think they're all actually in Massachusetts. Possibly. That would make a lot of sense. Oh, perfect. This is nice and warm. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, most edible companies are only established in either their own or like a handful of states around them. I know Wild is a brand that started in Oregon, but they're massive now. Stizzy is another brand that's doing that. Cookies. Yeah, there's a couple others. That are doing them like that. Oh shit, sorry guys. There we go. Let that steam out a bit. Is this the move, or do we just mash this by hand? Last time I feel like we tried to do this and it was a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna say skip that. Let's skip that. And let's do this spoon here. There we go. All right. There we are. Mise en place. We're gonna let these steam a little bit, get rid of some of that moisture content. Oh, we're not using this one. We're not using that one. Oh my goodness, no, we're not using that one. Woo! Oh, hold on, guys. Yeah, did you get a little warm, bud? It's muggy out today, I know. Good job. Good job. What happened to that one? Just wasn't good. You could tell. One of the coolest things I ever saw in the kitchen was way chefs would check meat done by putting a cake tester, putting it against their upper lip and how it was done. Yeah, or against like the soft part of your, like between your thumb and your index finger. But yeah, I definitely do that trick too, Dragon. It's a good indication. That's good indication with a lot of stuff. Because if it's like, oh, that's really hot, that means like, yep, that is very done. It did not pass the vibe check. You are absolutely correct, Brad. You were absolutely correct. That did not pass the vibe check. Because, yeah, no, it